If you got your conditional green card in EB-5 Immigrant Investor Program process, you should watch these videos because many Brazilian investors believe that EB-5 process ends after receive a 2 years conditional green card. But actually, another very important immigration stage is still exists after the approval. And if you do not understand this stage correctly, you may create unnecessary stress, confuse, or unrealistic expectation later. In this video, I want to explain in a simple and practical way what the Brazilian investor should know about the Form I-829. What is the I-829 is? What is the USCIS usually review during this stage? Why the 9 days filing window is important? And what is many investors misunderstood about this part of the EB-5 process? First, let's understand what is the I-829 actually is. When the investor receives a permanent residence through EB-5, the green card is initially conditional for 2 years. This means the US government still wants to verify that the investment remain compliant with the EB-5 program requirements after the investor receives a residence. So the I-829 is a petition filed to request the removal of those conditions. In simple words, this is the stage where a USCIS review whether the EB-5 investment process was completed properly according to the rules of the program. Many people think the first approval automatically guarantee everything forever. But the EB-5 works different. The US government wants to see that the investment remain active and the required job creation requirements were satisfied according to the law. Remember the case like the 10 jobs that the program should create? Now, one of the most important things the Brazilian investors should understand is timing. The I-829 is usually filed during the 90 days period before the conditional green card expires. Not 1 year before, it's not after expiration. Usually, during that specific file window, before the end of the 2 years conditional resident period. Time is extremely important. And this is why investors should stay organized and maintain the communication with the immigration attorney. That's important. You follow your US attorney and the regional center project during the process. Many investors become nervous because USCIS process time for I-129 may be very long today. But one important thing to understand is this. If I-829 is properly filed on time, the investor permanent resident status is generally extended while USCIS continue the process petition. Even if the physical green card expired during the waiting period. This created confusion for many families because they see the card expiration, in case in the expiration date, approach and think they are losing status. But normally, if the petition was correct filed, the investor continue maintain lawful status while the case remain pending. Now, let's discuss what USCIS usually review during the I-129 stage. First, USCIS generally wants to verify what is the investor sustain the requirement invest during the conditional resident period. In other words, USCIS wants to see that the investment remained compliant with EB-5 requirement and was not improperly withdrawn too early. Then comes another major point: job creation. In EB-5, the investment is connected to the job creation requirement under the program. In many regional center cases, job creation is based on economic models connected to the project developed itself. USIS may review project report, financial records, construction. They want to check these constructions in progress, expenditures, economics analysis, and documentation preparation by the regional center and the project professionals. This is one reason why choose a regional center and the project carefully at the beginning is so important. Some investors is not completely isolated from the project after receive the conditional green card. The project performance is still matter during the I-129 stage. Another point Brazilian investors should understand is that immigration attorney usually works to get with a regional center during the phase of the preparation of the documentation before filing the I-829 petition. When they say here they work together, no, they work for regional center. You understand? Is your uh, immigration process is different the investment process. Clear? For a I-829 file process, the attorney organize the petition package and submit the update file to USCIS. Now, one important point that creates confusion online. Many investors think they need to make a new investment during the I-829 stage. Normally, that is not the case. USIS is generally review whether the original EB-5 investment remained compliant during the conditional resident period. This stage is not usually about investing new money. It is about the review the original investment and the job creation requirements connect to that project. Another thing, many Brazilians ask is what is happening if the regional center project faces delays? This is depend on the specific facts of the case. Some projects experience delays in construction, operation, or repayment timeline without automatically destroy the, like I say, the immigration case. But is exactly why the project structure, job creation analysis, and legal preparation matters so much from the beginning. And your attorney, they don't involve in investment field, but they have a capacity to check if that regional center is appropriate for you. Not invest, but if you apply for that project, that's the important you always connect to your attorney. NB5 investors should understand that immigration approval and investment perform are connected, but they are not always identical discuss. This is why a serious project analysis before the investment is determined importance. Let me talk about something it's kind of emotional that many investors experience during the I-829 phase. Anxious. Because after years in the EB-5 process, families naturally want to certainty. They want stability. They looking for um, the process is finally complete. And when USCIS processing becomes slow, many families feel it's kind of nervous. It's normal. I think this is one reason why realistic expectation matter in, in EB5 process. This is not usually fast process. This is a long immigration investment journey involving multiple stage, documentation review, and government process period. But extend the process is correct help reduce unnecessary panic. One final point here. Many Brazilians focus heavily on entering EB-5 processing, but not enough on understanding the full timeline after the conditional resident is approved. The I-829 stage is not as simple as a small form at the end. It is another important immigration filing connected to the long-term process. Is a connect to the long-term success of the EB-5 process. So, if you are consider a EB-5, always talk to a US lawyer for looking for understand, looking for your processing, and also for you avoid these scams because it's so important. You have those that follow your stage at the beginning to the end, and that you have to looking for is a professional that have a license in US. My role here is, as a in Brazil side is just giving more help the Brazilian understand more about this process. For you gotta this, it's a kind of first stage until you find your US lawyer. This is so important. I hope this video you helpful and thank you for watching and I see you in this next one. Bye now.